The laughter wasn't normal anymore. That's the part people can't stop talking about. Not the joke itself, not even the words. It was the way the audience reacted, like they had been waiting for permission to finally say out loud what they'd been whispering for years. Saturday night, Studio 8H, national television, and suddenly Meghan Markle wasn't being treated like the protected celebrity outsider anymore. She was the punchline, the target, the spectacle. And when Colin Jost looked directly into the camera and delivered that line about Harry and Meghan like it was the most obvious joke in America, something shifted. You could actually feel it. The room exploded too fast, too hard, like the audience wasn't shocked at all, like they agreed. That's what made it dangerous. That's what made it feel bigger than comedy.
This is SNL Saturday Night Live actually in America. Not this new UK version, but the American version on Weekend Update has gone for her again. And this was the most savage tick yet. I mean, they actually call her a tick. Watch this.
Yeah.
Okay. King Charles visited the U.S. to mark the 250th anniversary of American independence from Britain and to seek the release of a British hostage being held by an American
I tried so hard. Did you like it?
I'm almost speechless.
Oh man, it's so funny, Dan. It's so funny.
Saturday Night Live once again slams Meghan Markle as she is spiraling after burning all of the bridges.
3 days earlier, the Sussex brand was still doing what it always does. Glossy launches, smiling photos, carefully managed appearances. But inside NBC, inside the writer's room, something else was happening entirely. Because people keep pretending these Snell moments are random. They're not. Weekend Update doesn't accidentally say anything. Every syllable gets checked. Every joke passes through layers of writers, producers, lawyers, executives, which means somebody in a suit looked at that Meghan joke and decided the backlash risk was worth it. Think about that. 8 years ago, networks were terrified of criticizing Meghan. Terrified. One negative headline in social media became a war zone. Careers got threatened. Articles got deleted. Suddenly now, primetime NBC is throwing jokes directly at her while the audience practically falls out of their seats laughing. That is not a tiny cultural change. That is a collapse.
children don't know who their daddy is.
The second Harry and Meghan's photo appeared behind Jost, the audience detonated. And not awkward laughter either. Not nervous laughter, real laughter. The kind people release when they feel socially safe. That's the detail nobody can ignore. Because once audiences feel safe mocking you, the game changes permanently. Within hours, the clips spread everywhere. British tabloids, American entertainment blogs, royal watch accounts, television panels. Suddenly, everybody was replaying the exact same moment over and over again. Meghan Markle, NBC, primetime, mocked openly, no apologies, no cleanup statement, no celebrity defenders flooding television the next morning. Silence, weird silence. And silence around Meghan stories is usually the loudest clue of all. People keep asking why this feels different. The answer is simple: patterns. One joke means nothing. Two jokes are coincidence. 8 straight years, that becomes a timeline, a narrative arc. Almost like Snell has been documenting the collapse of the Sussex image in real time, while everybody else was too distracted by interviews and documentaries to notice it happening.
The hatred for Meghan is all over the place. She has burned way too many bridges, so it doesn't surprise me at all. And hence why we're getting jokes like this, because she's become the joke. Meghan Markle is completely a joke at this point.
That's when the real question started haunting people. How did America's most protected royal celebrity couple slowly become comedy show prey? How did the same entertainment industry that once treated Meghan like untouchable royalty suddenly start feeding her image into punchlines year after year? Because this didn't begin with the hostage joke. Not even close. The clues were there long before Montecito became a meme. Long before Netflix fatigue. Long before the public started rolling their eyes at every rebrand. The warning signs were sitting in plain sight on live television.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
Yeah, everyone wants to see it.
Look carefully at what happened next. May 2025. Same desk, same Jost, same audience, different joke. This time, the setup involved a UK trade deal. Politics on the surface. But underneath, another Sussex hit. Another moment where the crowd reacted instantly the second Harry and Meghan appeared on screen. It almost felt rehearsed at that point. Like audiences already knew exactly what role the Sussexes played inside the American comedy machine now. Not inspirational royals, not victims, problems, not glamorous rebels. Burdens. That was the joke underneath the joke. The unwanted couple nobody knows what to do with anymore.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
And when the audience erupted again after the Beyonce concert photo appeared, you could literally see Jost almost break character. That tiny lip twitch, that half-second grin. He knew the joke landed harder than expected. Everyone in that studio knew, because the premise was brutal when you really unpacked it. Britain supposedly using trade negotiations to avoid taking Harry and Meghan back. Think about how humiliating that framing is for two people who once positioned themselves as global humanitarians above royal drama. Suddenly, they're being presented as an international inconvenience. What made it even uglier was the timing. Harry was publicly talking reconciliation. Meghan was launching new projects. Their team was desperately trying to project stability, prestige, importance. Then SNL basically looked at the entire PR rollout and turned it into one giant national joke. And the scary part for the Sussex camp? Barely anyone defended them. That protection shield that used to appear online instantly after criticism? Gone. Completely gone. Even the outrage cycles felt tired, exhausted. People weren't fighting the jokes anymore. They were sharing them. That's when people started rewinding further back and realizing this story didn't begin in 2025 or 2026 at all. SNL had been quietly mapping the downfall for years. Back in 2019, when the public still viewed Meghan as the glamorous outsider changing the monarchy forever, the writers were already slipping in jokes about feuds, tension, resentment, American disruption. At the time, it sounded playful, harmless. But watching those sketches now feels eerie, almost predictive, like the comedy writers saw cracks long before the public admitted they existed. The royal baby sketch suddenly looks completely different in hindsight. The Queen joking about the baby being half American, half traitor, the Kate feud line, the stiff smiles, the subtle digs. Back then, audiences laughed because it felt exaggerated. Now people replay those clips like prophecy footage. That's the unsettling part. Comedy becomes terrifying when old jokes start aging into reality. And maybe that's the biggest reason the May 2026 hostage joke exploded so hard. It wasn't just one punchline. It was the climax of 8 years of narrative conditioning. Audiences had been trained slowly, carefully, repeatedly to see Harry and Meghan as chaotic, exhausting, divisive figures. Every sketch added another layer. Every season pushed the image further away from fairy tale royalty and closer to cultural parody. By the time the latest joke aired, the transformation was complete. The audience no longer saw Meghan Markle as the brave outsider fighting the monarchy. They saw a spectacle, a headline machine, a celebrity brand unraveling in public while comedy shows kept the receipts. And honestly, the most chilling part isn't even the jokes themselves. It's how comfortable everybody suddenly looks while laughing at them. What makes this entire situation feel almost unreal is that the royal family isn't even the only target anymore. That's the evolution people missed while focusing on headlines. Back in 2018 and 2019, SNL's jokes were mostly aimed at the monarchy itself. The stiff traditions, the weird rituals, the aristocratic awkwardness. Meghan was positioned like the modern outsider stepping into an outdated institution. The audience laughed with her. That distinction matters. Because somewhere between the Oprah interviews, Spare, Netflix, the endless podcast launches, the family feuds, the lawsuits, and the constant rebranding attempts, the direction of the laughter changed completely. The monarchy stopped being the joke. Harry and Meghan became the joke. And once that switch happens in pop culture, reversing it becomes almost impossible. That's why the old clips suddenly feel so important now. Look back at the 2018 wedding coverage. The fairy tale atmosphere was overwhelming. American media practically crowned Meghan a global icon overnight. The gospel choir, the celebrity guests, the headlines calling her revolutionary. Yet even then, SNL couldn't resist taking the first swing. Same night as the wedding, millions watching around the world. And the opening punchline reduces Harry to some unemployed guy living with his grandmother. People laughed because it sounded harmless. But underneath that joke sat something darker that would follow Harry forever afterward. Weakness. Dependency. The idea that he abandoned royal duty not for love, but because he was manipulated into leaving everything behind. That theme never disappeared. It only got louder with time. Then came 2021, the year the Oprah interview detonated globally. This was supposed to be the moment public sympathy permanently locked onto the Sussexes. Instead, SNL transformed one of the interview's most explosive allegations into comedy material almost immediately. That Daniel Kaluuya monologue hit like a grenade because everybody understood understood exactly what he was referencing without him even needing to explain it. The audience reaction told the whole story. People weren't uncomfortable. They were thrilled. The monarchy's fears about Archie's appearance had become mainstream comedic material within weeks. Think about how insane that is. One of the biggest emotional claims in modern royal history reduced to a monologue applause line on live television. But even that wasn't the real turning point. No, the atmosphere truly shifted after Spare. That's when the exhaustion started showing publicly. The interviews blurred together. The grievances started sounding repetitive. The revelations stopped shocking people and started entertaining them instead. And comedy writers noticed that shift faster than anyone. They can smell public fatigue before journalists even admit it exists, which explains why that 2023 rap sketch landed so viciously. The audience reaction during the Not Today Satan line wasn't just laughter anymore. It sounded like recognition, like the viewers already had established opinions about Meghan and Harry in their heads, and the sketch was simply confirming them out loud. That's what makes Snell dangerous in situations like this. It doesn't create public perception from scratch. It amplifies what audiences are already secretly feeling but haven't fully admitted yet. Comedy becomes a pressure valve. Once people start laughing together, the perception hardens into reality frighteningly fast. And then came the Photoshop scandal. Honestly, this might have been the most revealing moment of all, because it showed how Meghan's image had shifted from inspirational figure to permanent internet sarcasm magnet. The Wales family Christmas card controversy was already dominating headlines. Missing fingers, editing accusations, agency pullbacks, royal chaos. Normal circumstances would have made Kate Middleton the center of the mockery. But somehow, Snell still redirected the punchline toward Meghan. That's the part nobody talks about enough. Meghan didn't even need to be involved in the scandal anymore to become the joke attached to it. The writers used her as shorthand for hostility itself. One line, one fake middle finger, and suddenly the entire internet was replaying it globally within hours. The symbolism there was brutal. Meghan transformed into the embodiment of royal bitterness in American comedy culture. Not a person, a symbol. And symbols are much harder to control than celebrity headlines. That's why the launch of SNL UK changed everything. Suddenly, this wasn't just Americans mocking royal chaos from a distance anymore. Now British comedians were doing it from inside the culture itself. British accents, British references, British cynicism. And according to reports, audiences loved it immediately. That's catastrophic symbolism for Harry and Meghan, because their entire post-royal identity was built on escaping toxic British tabloid culture. Yet now, both sides of the Atlantic are participating in the same ridicule cycle simultaneously. The timing could not look worse. Montecito lifestyle branding on one screen, Netflix image management on another, jam launches, soft focus glamour shoots, inspirational messaging. While on television, live audiences are roaring with laughter at jokes portraying them as international burdens, family destroyers, and walking public relations disasters. The contrast is almost surreal, and maybe that's the deepest reason these clips hit so hard emotionally. 8 years ago, Harry and Meghan represented fantasy, the rebellious prince, the glamorous American actress, the modern royal future. People projected hope onto them, reinvention, change, freedom. Now, the fairy tale atmosphere has curdled into something colder, more cynical. Every appearance feels analyzed. Every interview becomes meme material. Every public statement gets filtered through layers of suspicion and fatigue before audiences even hear it. The saddest part is that Snell didn't invent this collapse. It documented it year after year, joke after joke. Tiny clues stacked slowly until suddenly the pattern became impossible to ignore. That's why the hostage joke exploded so violently in May 2026. It wasn't one joke. It was the final chapter of a story audiences had already been watching unfold subconsciously for nearly a decade. And the silence afterwards said everything. No giant celebrity defense campaign, no overwhelming outrage, no public sympathy wave, just endless replay clips, headlines, reaction videos, and audiences laughing harder each time. Somewhere along the way, the Sussexes stopped being viewed as untouchable cultural icons and became something much more dangerous in entertainment, reliable comedy material. And once Hollywood decides you're funniest as a punchline instead of a protagonist, escaping that role becomes almost impossible.